Still, it should work. Oh, I think we are live. Welcome to Ace in the Hole Live, where we talk about law of attraction mixed with poker, health, wealth, and relationships. I'm Nathaniel Drew, founder of the Solid Pops Orchestra, creator of Ace in the Hole, the reality show, and just a guy who likes to have fun. This is Taylor Proctor, and she is an incredible woman who has her own businesses. She's a powerful woman in the community. She helps women all over the place. Like, she is just a powerhouse. So it's a pleasure to have you here again on the show.
Thank you.
Today, we're going to be discussing something that's really interesting that I don't think a lot of people think about, and that is wanting something too much.
Yes.
The idea that if you can make things matter just a little bit less, it's going to help everything that you're doing. It just, how do we describe this? Because I know you're really good at understanding these ideas of law of attraction, but the idea is if you want something too much, it becomes a problem. The feeling of wanting something so much, you just really, really want something, it means you have resistance to it because it feels too big. If it feels too big, it means it's unachievable. So there's just too much resistance to that thing. So you have to find a way to calm yourself down, dial it back, so that you can get the things that you want. And this is especially true in poker. In poker, when you want that hand so much, if you want it too much, you are going to lose chips. You're going to lose a lot. So it's really important to understand what this means and when you feel it and how to back off from it and how to get to that place where everything's open and free and fun.
I would say to that too, you can usually tell the poker players who do want it too much because they get caught in the ego.
Yeah.
You see them playing the ego plays, trying to force it versus letting it happen and say folding when you need to fold versus
being a little bit patient. And by the way, guess who won our last poker game? This lady right here.
I got second.
Oh, you got second. That's right. So she does very well. I actually got out like first. Like I don't think I've ever done that in my life, but it was just a wrong day for me.
You had a couple things going on.
I had a couple of things going on. But it was fun to watch how powerful you were in that because you were patient enough and you did understand what was going on and you kind of felt things. So first off, tell us about kind of how you felt as you were kind of winning these hands.
So it's kind of funny because I don't play if it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And so everyone around me is playing and doing all these things and I'm folding. And it doesn't make sense. It's going to happen what's going to happen. And I think at one point I was the chip lead and nobody paid any attention. Nobody knew. And I just let everybody keep on doing what they were doing. And I play my game.
Yeah.
And it's fun. I enjoy it. And no pressure on it.
Yeah.
I usually have a little mini goal where I'm like, I just want to be top 4.
Okay.
And then if I can be better than that, all the better. And so last time I got second place, got to split the pot, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And it just felt great to be able to play and have fun and not try to, like we're talking about here, force it.
Right.
Force the expectation, I've got to have this hand to stay in.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Or even there's the forcing of, we're playing for real money.
Yeah.
Right? So this isn't like candy in the middle. It's like real chips. And so trying to force like the monetary win or the financial win instead of having fun and just enjoying the game.
Yeah.
Right? So there's an expectation of pushing it, and I just don't have that expectation. I'm here to have a good time. I'm here to hang out with a great group of people and make friends, and then also just play my game.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And just to be clear for everyone out there, you can't gamble in Utah. This is actually a tournament, so it's just a buy-in for the tournament, and then we play for the tournament. So just so everybody's aware of that, nothing crazy going on here. But she is a very good poker player, but she's not. And let's talk about how this really interprets into life.
Absolutely.
Into business, into health, into relationships, all of those things. If you're pushing too hard in any of those areas, it's not going to end up well for you. And typically, when you want something that badly, there is an aspect of fear embedded in that wanting it that much.
Yeah.
Because you feel like maybe you won't be able to have it.
Or maintain it.
Yeah, all of the above.
Or it'll be a rise to fame or whatever it is, and then a crash and burn.
Right.
Right? You have those kind of thoughts. But I know you have a story about pushing and expectation and letting go.
I have a million of them, really. So, my wife and I, we got married, and we thought, we'll wait a couple of years to have a child, and we waited a couple of years, and then we started trying to have a child, and it wasn't working. And we're like, what's going on? This is weird. And then we had a couple of miscarriages, and we're like, oh, this is not good. So we started seeing doctors, and we're like, we really, really want to have a baby. Like, we really want to have a baby, and we should have a baby. And so we started seeing all kinds of doctors, went to all kinds of clinics, did all kinds of crazy stuff for years. We went and we did shots, we did like crazy stuff, and we were focused on it all the time. It was something we wanted really, really badly. And after years and years of trying, we said, well, maybe we'll have to adopt, maybe we'll have to do something, but we can't do this anymore. This is ruining our life. Like, we can't do this anymore. Yeah. And so we said, well, let's take a vacation, just forget about it. Let's just forget that we're going through this. And so we went on vacation, and immediately we got pregnant, and the pregnancy stuck, and we were fine. But that's just kind of the way life is, I think. When you are so focused on something, especially when you're focused on something you feel you don't have right now.
Yeah. You're focusing on the lack instead of the outcome.
Yes, 100%. That's the point.
Yeah.
So I know you have a story too, so you'll have to...
Mine's more job related. So I was working for a company that I actually really enjoyed working for. And it was starting to feel like it was time to move on. Okay. So I had applied to places. I was putting out my resume, finding all these things. I was like, I could do this, right? Because I'm pretty... If you know me at all, you know I could talk about most subjects, and I'm pretty well versed. And so there was a lot of things that were coming up where I'm like, ooh, I could do that, but it doesn't show my full like breadth and scope of what I'm capable of. Or I could do that, or I could do that. And I was really focused on... I enjoyed it there, but I was really starting to focus on getting out of there. Okay. And so I was starting to force and push, even in like, is this job something I can do? Yes. Is it what I want to do? I didn't ask that question. Okay. Right. Okay. So I was starting to focus on the force and getting these interviews, and I wasn't getting them. And I'm a pretty good interviewer, right? Yeah. And I usually present pretty well, and so it was really awkward to be like, wait, why am I not getting these jobs? Yeah. I should be getting these jobs. I'm more than qualified. Right. I'm picking one small thing that I can do and focusing on that. I'm more than qualified to be able to do this. Yeah. And so it finally came to the point where I was like, look, I actually really like where I'm at. Yeah. It's fine. Okay. I was focused on getting out of it for reasons that were no longer relevant. Okay. Right? So I had a boss that wasn't a very good fit. Yeah. And shifted teams. Okay. And things were fine. Okay. So it was kind of like, oh, okay, well, I can stay here. I actually like it. I've got a good spot here. And as soon as I stopped doing the force, okay. And I will say I had on my wall exactly what I wanted. I wanted a title, this or better. Okay. I wanted pay, this or better. Okay. I wanted to work for an established company that had benefits, like all of that. I didn't want to do super small startup. But I wanted to run my own department because that's what I was doing in the other company and things like that. And so as soon as I stopped doing the force of like trying to find the job and just focused on what it was that I wanted, so focusing on what I want versus the scarcity of what I don't have, right. I got a phone call. And it was from a recruiter saying, hey, just tell me a little bit about your history. So I told her my work history, and she goes, oh, I was calling you for this other job, but it sounds like you haven't had expertise in that area for a couple of years. And I hadn't. It was for SEO, so search engine optimization. Yep. And I was like, I worked for SEO.com, but haven't done that for a hot minute. Right. And she goes, okay, well, just based on your experience and what you've been saying, I actually think you'd be a really good fit for role X. Interesting. So I get a phone call with the hiring manager. He's like, that's awesome. I come in and I interview with 9 people in 3 hours. Wow. It was crazy. Jeez. And they offered me the job that same day.
Wow.
And it was $30,000 more a year in pay.
Okay.
Took me over the six-figure mark.
Okay.
Which was huge. And one of the best jobs I've ever had. Now I work for myself, so we're great. But at the time, it was exactly what I needed, and I never could have forced my way into that situation. Right? I had to let go of that expectation of what it should be or what I thought it should be.
Right.
And be open to the idea of this is what I want, and I expect it's this or something better. And I got it. It was awesome.
Amazing. I'm going to have you continue on just a little bit.
Sure.
My phone died, so it's going to be hard to control things. But
and it's all on me. Hi, guys.
I'm
taking over the show now.
It's on you right now. I thought I had this covered with my phone. So I'm going to have you go through the steps that we talked about. It's a little bit hard for you to do, but everything's always working out for me is step number 1, so I'll let you talk about that.
Yeah. So I think a big component of being able to let go of the expected outcome and stop focusing on the scarcity and start focusing on the feeling and what you want is to really trust that it's going to work out.
Yeah.
Because so often we end up in a space where we think we have to control it and manipulate it and force it into being, and it just gets 10 times harder.
Right.
But if you're able to trust that, hey, this thing that I want is going to come, it'll come in its own time, and it's going to be this or something better, I think that's huge. If we have the ability to open up that trust and just let go and understand that it can happen for you, that is when the ball starts to go into motion.
Yeah.
Right? It's this idea of, okay, I've said what I want. I'm releasing the expectation of it. I trust that it's going to be this or something better for me. Everything happens, depending on your religious connotation or whatnot. You can say it's divine timing, universe has your back, or it's just the energy is now shifting in a way that gives you the momentum for it to come. But it all comes from this idea and concept of releasing that expectation and trusting that everything works out for you.
Yeah.
Trusting that everything can come into a place for you, which then opens up your mind to, if you're hearing this and you're going, well, that's good for you to say. Right? We've all had those thoughts. We've all been there. I mean, I've listened to podcast episodes, seen lives where somebody says they have this huge thing that happened for them.
Yeah.
And I've thought to myself, well, good for them. Universe has their back, but I'd have to work hard to do it.
Right.
And that's simply not the case. So it's an opportunity to look at what beliefs are holding you back. What ideas are you having where you're hearing us talk about this going, well, if I release the expectation of it, I just trust it's going to happen, that's not for me, that won't work. Take a look at that mindset. Take a look at that belief and ask yourself why you think that it won't work. Why aren't you deserving of things working out for you in the universe? And why can't you let go of the trust and, I'm going to say, drop the reins? I was actually working with a client the other day, and we were talking about trust and release. And she was like, I just don't know. And I said, well, I come from horse people. We have horses. And I would go camping, and we would take the horse up through the mountains and whatnot, and it would be dark by the time we were coming back. And one of the best things that you could possibly do is set the reins down and let the horse guide you home. And trust that the horse would take you back to camp. Trust that the horse would be able to see the best path to get us there the fastest and the easiest way. And it's the same thing with letting go of the expectation. You know you're heading home, but you can try and fight, you can try to maneuver, or you can let the universe, or in this case, the horse, do their thing. Set down the reins and go along for the ride and have it work out for you.
Well, I'm back.
Hi, welcome back.
I saw while my phone's charging, we might as well set it so they can see us both.
Yeah, perfect.
There we go.
And I would say the next step of that in releasing the reins is this idea of figuring out what you can control and doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so when you're in a situation such as things aren't working on your show and you have to figure things out to make sure things work, you just have to say, well, what is working? And
yes.
what can I do with the things that are working? What's within my control? I can't really charge the phone faster than it charges.
Yep.
So you have to figure out what to do with it. So you got to be calm. Yeah.
You were calm under pressure trying to figure it out, and I'm sitting there going, I'm going to tell you a horse story.
And she was calm too. So, But like in poker, there are certain things that you can and can't control. You cannot control the cards that you're dealt. You can control how you feel about it. You can control how you view the other players. You can control counting chips. You can control a lot of different things that have nothing to do with the cards that you're dealt.
Yep.
And so you just have to relax into the idea that there are only certain things that I can control. Let's focus on those things and let's get good at those things.
Yeah.
Right? And that will give you an inner confidence to be able to deal with things.
Oh, absolutely. Because once you are in control of the things that you can control, there's a peace of mind that comes with that.
Yeah.
There's a self-trust of, okay, if I believe that things are going to work out from an outside perspective, and I can control the things that I can control in an internal perspective, now they're both coming together for my best being.
Yes. Yeah, exactly right. So that's step number 2. Step number 1, everything's always working out for me. That's super important to tell yourself everything is always working out for me. Step 2, just figure out what you can control and control that, and then you can find that inner confidence, and that's super important. So step number 3, this or something better.
Yeah. So I said this several times, right? It's this idea of when we try to force something into happening, we limit our opportunity to see the full table.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're only looking at our cards and what is in front of us. We're not able to play the other players. We're not able to see what's actually happening. We're solely focused. Well, when we say this or something better, it opens up those blinders for us to have the ability to see, I wanted this, but let's say you're chasing Full House.
Yeah.
And when you stop chasing the Full House, you see, oh gosh, I actually have a flush.
Right.
Right? You're looking and focusing on one thing, but when you can open that up and say, okay, well, I want the Full House or something better. Well, holy crap. Okay, well, I've got 5. There's 5 hearts. I can win with this.
Right.
It wasn't the Full House, but it was this or something better.
People get very tunnel vision that way. Actually, I've done it before too. I've been chasing the flush and realized, oh, I have a straight. What? Yeah. So yes, absolutely. You gotta make sure to say that, because then you don't have to be so tunnel visioned.
Exactly.
And there are other strategies too that will appear to you that aren't just you have a better hand, but strategies and ways you're viewing other people and things like that when you're playing poker. But that's true in life as well.
Yep.
When you can say this or something better, it just means universe. It is possible that there is something better. I don't know what that is because I'm me. And it's hard to see the label from the outside of the bottle.
Yep.
So universe, it's possible to have something better. Bring it to me.
Well, and I'll say that for my job story.
Yeah.
I had tunnel visioned into it has to be one of these things that's so limiting.
Yeah.
Because that's what I thought were the opportunities. That's what I thought was out there. When the opportunity that did come once I released control was so much better. Yeah. First off, it was like $10,000 more than what I had put on my card of this is what I want to be paid.
Yeah.
The title was 2 levels above what I had put that I wanted.
Wow.
And there was, I believe, 11 things on my card.
Okay.
That I had just done a card of all these things that I want this job to have.
Okay.
And I got 10 of them. And the ironic thing is the one that I didn't get was the ability to work from home. And I was in that position for a year and a half, and then COVID hit.
Whoa.
And I got to work from home.
Wow,
but it was
there you
really
go.
this idea of, it was so much better than all the things I've been trying to force.
Yeah.
And it was even better than the things once I let go control, it was even better than the things that I had put that I wanted.
Wow. That's amazing. So, yeah. Yeah, everything's always working out for us, right?
It really is, which is back to step 1.
Yeah, right. Oh, just incredible. So, I just found out that cord, the tip of it was completely broken.
Oh.
That's why it didn't work, so I threw it down there. This is live shows, guys. By the way, guys, it's just what you deal with in live shows. It's taught me a lot of patience.
Which is perfect for our last step, which is chill the
F out. That's the last step. Number 4, chill the F out. We get so tense about things, Things in the moment become so important. And, I'm even learning in my marriage, things can get so ridiculously important in the moment. And the reality is, if it's not a massive value thing, If it's not something completely against your values, just chill the F out. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Just, the truth is, most problems are solved not by focusing on the problem, but by like in a marriage, by focusing on connection.
Yeah.
If you're not connected, everything's going to be an argument. So focus on the connection. Don't worry about the problem. Focus on the connection. And you'll find that with just about everything. In a business, if you're having a massive problem in the business, and typically it's about people and employees and things like that, don't focus on that problem. Focus on creating what you do want. Okay. It's about what you want, not about what you don't want. And the more you focus on what you don't want, the more you're going to get what you don't want.
Yeah, because it's focusing on the scarcity and the lack.
Yeah.
What we focus on grows.
Yeah, exactly right.
I would add to that, here in our live scenario and everything else, this patience factor.
Yeah.
Right? Part of chilling the F out is having the patience to understand that timing's going to happen when it needs to.
Yes.
Right? So it's very much this, I'm going to relax. Mm-hmm. I'm going to let things go how they need to go.
Yeah.
And in that patience, in that relaxing, it's going to be this or something better.
Yeah.
What is in my control, it's in my control, and I trust that things are working out for me.
Love it. Do you hear that, you guys? She just went the list backwards. That was so perfect. Mic drop. Well done. That was awesome.
Thanks.
So let's go over the steps again for everybody. So when you want something really, really badly, there are 4 steps. You got to back off, right? So the first step is everything. You got to tell yourself everything is always working out for me. Just repeat after me. Everything is always working out for me. That's all that matters. Number 2, figure out what you can control and just do it. Doing those things that you can control, even if they don't make a huge difference, will actually make a big difference in your confidence. And that's a big deal. Number 3, this or something better. So allowing the universe to bring you something better than you thought could be possible. You can't read the label from the inside of a bottle. Allow the universe to read that label, and it could be that thing that you really want, or it could be something a lot better. And then the last thing is just chill the F out. Chill out. Like, there is nothing so serious right now. There almost never is. I feel like we were born to be these playful, amazing, fun creatures, and sometimes we just get so focused on the problem that we can't find the solution. So chill out. Allow the solution to come to you. And that's typically how a solution comes. You don't hammer it out most of the time. You allow it to come to you. And you can't allow something to come to you if you're not chilled out. So.
Well, and how many times have we heard stories of success stories of people in anything where they are like, I was running my head against the wall. I didn't know what to do. Mm-hmm. I took a walk and I got there.
Yeah, exactly.
I took a shower and I got the idea.
The shower moment, yeah.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
like all of those, we hear those time and time and time again. Yeah. And that really is the chill the F out moment that opens the door for the solutions to come in.
Because we're so resistant. In those moments where we're just so freaked out about the thing, whatever it is, it's the world to us. At that moment, when you know it's the world to you, you know it's time to chill out.
Yeah. Well, because think about it this way, too. When something is the world to you, you've given up your personal power and control.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And when we look at, if we go through the steps again, right? If you feel like everything's the world to you, then you're not trusting that there's better things in the world for you.
Yeah.
Right? You're not controlling what you can control. Yeah. You're being controlled by the thing that is the world to you.
Yeah.
And you're not asking for this or something better. You're solely focused on the problem.
Right.
And at that point, I imagine it's just like my body, just even now thinking about it, is just so tense, right? Because you can't relax when you're in that space.
Yeah, we're not even in that space. we're just recognizing that space exists and we're tense.
Yeah, exactly. And so then it's that opportunity to go, big breath.
Yeah.
Relax the shoulders and go, okay, can I chill out on this?
Can
I have some patience on this?
Yeah.
Can I let it come how it needs to? It's this or something better.
Yeah.
I'm controlling me. I'm not being controlled by that thought, that situation, that thing that I want.
Yeah, and poker is an obvious example. Chill out, have fun.
Yep.
Don't worry about it. You can fold if you need to. It's not that big of a deal. Just chill out. But even when we talk about health, chill out. It's not super important that you don't eat that donut at this very second. You're not going to gain 300 pounds by eating a donut, and you're not going to lose 300 pounds by not eating the donut. And at the same time, you're not going to lose 100 pounds by eating the celery. So chill out. Like, just understand that there's some things that are in alignment with what you want, and there's some things that are not in alignment with what you want. And just feel the alignment. And really, it's about feeling into things. That's why you have to chill the F out, because it's important to feel through things rather than to think through things and hammer through things and, kill your dinner and drag it home. That's not what that's about. It's
right.
Feel into it.
Well, I love the weight loss example too, because I see this quite a bit, where it's I tried that diet for 30 days and I didn't get the results I wanted, so it obviously didn't work. And it's like, that's not the case. And for most people, you're the exception, and what you do is something that's options for everyone. But we see this mindset a lot of, it didn't happen in the time frame I wanted it to happen.
Yeah.
Which frankly is back to the control,
Yeah.
the expectation, the scarcity, and instead of chilling out and letting it happen with patience, we're trying to force it. And so when it doesn't happen that time frame, we walk away and we give up too soon.
Yeah, and truthfully, even me. So yes, I lost a crap ton of weight in just over a month. Yes, I did do that. But at the same time, I did chill the F out before I did that. I basically told myself, cool, it'll be fun one way or the other. I'm not going to kill myself on this thing. I'm going to follow every step that they ask me to follow. I will. Yeah. But I'm not going to kill myself doing it. I'm just going to have fun. And I got into it and I was like, well, how do I have fun with this? How do I have fun with that? This is an interesting challenge. What do I do with that? So it still is chilling the F out. And I did understand that I could lose weight that quickly. Yeah. In a month I could, and I did. But it wasn't because I was hammering it into place.
Yeah.
I was just allowing it. I was chilling the F out in that whole scenario. So, and the work that I did before that scenario was about creating the belief that it was possible. And the hard thing is most people do not. They have these mixed vibrations in there where they think, well, I got to lose this weight in 30 days, but I don't want to do it in this way.
There's a resistance.
There's this massive resistance, this warring vibrations where I want to lose the weight, and I believe that I shouldn't be eating so much food, but I still want to eat the food that I want, and I'm still hoping that I can lose the weight.
I would come in here and say that is with the step that's control.
Okay.
Right? Because that resistance is, the way I see that, is if it's like, I still want to eat what I want to eat, and now I feel like I'm being controlled by the diet, or I'm being controlled by the weight loss and the exercise. Yeah. And we rebel against that as humans.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right? We need to feel like we're in control, right?
Yeah.
And we want to control the things we can control, but the truth of it is that it's that mindset and that belief of being able to say, I'm choosing to do this.
Yes.
And I want this in my life or something better, and relaxing and having fun with it, as opposed to that conflicting vibration of, now they're both a control. Yeah. They're both a push-pull for control, and at which point you're not, again, it goes back to you're being controlled by the situation versus you controlling what you can control and leaning into what you actually want.
Yeah. That is an amazing thought. I love that.
Thank you.
I love that a lot. Yeah.
And leaning into what you actually want is an emotional vibration.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Leaning into what you want, it is an emotion. Or it creates an emotion.
Agreed.
Yeah. It creates that hope, If you're leaning into what you want, it's not pushing into it. It's not doing everything in your power to muscle your way through it. It's leaning towards it. And you go, I'm leaning towards it. I'm closer than I was before. I have a little bit of hope.
Yeah. I would also say too, anything that we want can come to us, and we focus a lot on situations and on experiences and on things. Yeah. But ultimately, it's those things are going to, or those situations, those experiences are going to create an emotion that is actually what we're going for. Yeah. So I would share an example again. I have a car. Anybody watching that knows me already might know the story. But
She loves her car.
I do love her car. I have a limited edition orange Porsche.
Yeah.
And it was amazing to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's a limited edition, it's super rare.
Yeah.
And we actually ended up with 2 of them. And that's a story for a different time.
Okay.
Manifested
All
2
right.
Porsches, which was awesome. But the truth of it is that I wanted a Porsche. I've wanted a Porsche since I was 6.
Yeah.
But it was never about actually the car.
Okay.
It was about how I feel when I drive that car.
Yes,
how I
of course,
feel
of
owning
course.
that car. Right? It says a lot about me when I'm like, I own a limited edition Porsche. Right? I love having things that are rare, that
They're
are
special.
showpieces,
Yeah.
that are special. And I don't own something if it doesn't feel like it's a part of me.
Yeah.
And that was something I had to work on getting the car. It was like, can I see myself driving this, and now it's a representation of me? But truth of it is that it's a representation of how I want to feel, how I want to be and show up in the world. And that is the true law of attraction and true manifestation. And you can shortcut that by starting to feel those emotions already, which come back to our steps. The easiest way to feel those emotions that you want
See,
to
she's
attract
teaching you
those
the back
things-
door right now. She's teaching you how to get in through the back door. That's cheating. This is cheating.
It's not, though, because it still lines up with those steps,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
So if I want to, like when I drive, okay, it's a convertible, and so it's the top down. I love blasting the music.
Yeah.
Ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to have a convertible. I wanted the Barbie convertible.
Okay.
It was hot pink. Yeah. Orange is just as ostentatious, so I'm all about it. And I wanted to play the song Tequila.
You still get to show off.
Yeah, no, totally. Tequila by the Champs.
Oh, yeah, heck yes.
Yeah, and I wanted to blast that through my neighborhood with my top down.
Nice, heck yes.
So now as an adult when I do that, I feel so fun and free. Yes. And it's such a good feeling. And the truth of it is that when you can trust that something's going, that the universe has your back, or that there's something there working for you, right? You trust it's going to work out for you.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's free.
Yeah.
Right? When you can control what you can control, you're in charge. It's fun. It's free.
Yeah.
Right? When you can let go of just let go of the pressure and chill the F out. It's fun. It's free. It's those emotional components that support the steps we're talking about today, and allowing you to feel the emotions releases the control of the outcome.
And the reality is, what you're saying to a point is the only reason we want anything is for the emotion of having it.
Totally.
The only reason we want the car, the only reason we want the house, the only reason we want the health of the relationship is because we think we'll feel better when we have it. Might as well feel better right now and just take the back door and have everything that you want right now.
Yeah. But in releasing the pressure of that outcome, that's how you do it.
And by the way, I promise you, the best poker players do that. All the best poker players are able to release that fear. They're able to release the stress. They're in the moment. They know things are going to work out for them because it has before. They control only what they can control. Like, it's just, and the idea of something better. I mean, why not?
Absolutely.
Why not something better? Thank you guys for joining us so much. I always enjoy these conversations, Taylor.
Definitely.
Thank you. I appreciate you. And I appreciate anyone who's watching right now with the amazing tech problems. But they're fun tech problems. So
we're working out the kinks.
Yeah, so I'm going to let you close the show as I go to the other room and close out the live.
Sure. Absolutely, I can do that. So I think one of the big takeaway here, and the hope that we have in being able to do this episode specifically around this topic, is to provide you hope with that there are opportunities for you to get those things that you want. And it may feel counterintuitive. It may feel like, what are we talking about here? And releasing the expectation of the outcome, like stopping the pressure and just relaxing and letting it come. But truly, it is possible. It is possible for you. And our hope for you today is that you've been able to catch a glimpse of that, and that you can start using the law of attraction to your advantage going forward. So thanks so much for joining live today. And that's Nathaniel Drew, Nate Drew. I'm Taylor Proctor, and so excited to be here. And comment below if you watched the live or you watched the replay, and be sure to tune back in shortly as we go live for our poker tournament.